bringing you the latest news from Lubbock High Athletics. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Good Wednesday evening. It's good to be back in the high school fan zone after taking Tuesday night off. And I'll explain why we were off on Tuesdays, because that's how it works after Thanksgiving. We go Mondays and Wednesdays now, not Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm going to run through the schedule real quick. I'm Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score. I probably buried the lead there a little bit. We are Mondays and Wednesdays after Thanksgiving from 6 to 7:30 p.m., 4 schools apiece. Monday night was Estacado, Monterey, Memorial, and Liberty. Wednesday nights tonight will be Lubbock High, Coronado, Friendship, and Lubbock Cooper. 20 minutes each for the first 3 schools. Liberty and Lubbock Cooper get stuck with me for half an hour, so they have to deal with me for 10 extra minutes. I wish we could have gotten our current guest on here for the 30-minute segment, because I want him to talk a lot about what's coming up this weekend. This is a huge week in sports in this area. Everybody knows Texas Tech is headed to the Big 12 championship game. Good for the Red Raiders. That's a huge deal. It's a big sports week in high school sports in town in a lot of different venues. And my guest, this is the Westerner Fan Zone, but he actually deals with all 5 LISD swimming programs, because Talkington is now UIL. I'm going to say your first name and then let you take it from there, just to make sure I don't butcher it the first time.
No problem.
It's Lubbock ISD swimming and diving coach
Dakota Tefertiller.
I might have gotten close had I tried it. So
it kind of sounds like it's similar to how it's spelled, but people are getting used to it around here.
I've seen it enough now where I think I could have taken a hack at it. Dakota's easy, so we'll stick with Dakota.
That's no problem. Coach T is what most everybody calls me, so if you want to do that.
This is your 3rd year as the head coach.
That's correct.
Took over for LISD legend Trey Hayes. And
that's right.
He always kind of flinched when I said that, but how many state championships did he win when he was here?
3 in a row.
You do that, you get to be called a legend.
That's right. And Dynasty.
Even Juan Rodriguez calls him a legend, and that's coming from the voice of reason at Lubbock High. So,
coming from a guy that worked with him, it can be said that he led the team, and it was a big effort for the coaching staff to make it all happen, put it together.
Because you were his right-hand man.
I was there.
You slid over to the main seat, and we just were talking about it. There's been 0 drop-off. Y'all are doing the same things you've done, and it's grown a little bit. Lubbock High swimming program has been the bell cow, but the other schools have kind of started to add some pieces here and there. I know even Estacado's added a few.
Yeah, we have some Estacado swimmers. We're always looking for more, so if you're listening to me, Estacado, come sign up.
And I mentioned Talkington's now UIL, so those kids are in the mix as well, which means this week it's officially just the Lubbock Invitational.
That's correct.
No messing around, no fancy names. You're just going straight to the heart.
That's right. We're getting the championship season. We're getting there. We're getting built up. Looking forward to seeing my kids swim some big races this weekend. So
you guys have been at it for a while.
Yeah, since August.
And
it's a long season.
There have been some meets along the way, but this is the first big one, especially here in Lubbock. What is the pecking order now? There's this one this week, and then what comes the next few weeks? Well,
we have this one, which is pretty big, and hoping the weather works out for everything. So, but then after that, we kind of have a little bit of a training period for the holidays and whatnot, and then we get back into it with Midland on January the 5th. And then after that is districts, time for districts, end of the month of January, around the 24th. And that will be the beginning of our playoffs. And as you know, we're kind of separated right now with 4A and under and 5A.
Yep. And
they're kind of, when it comes to swimming, they're a little bit separate. There's a district meet for them, and then for us, and then their regional meet is before ours, and then our regional meet, then their state and our state. So it's kind of one after the other. It's not all at the same time.
Well, the regional or the district and regional meets are right back here at Pete Regis Aquatic Center.
That's right.
And then state is at, what's the name of the facility in Austin?
Lee and Joe Jamal Swimming Center at UT.
And I a long time ago when I actually covered a football game at Texas Tech, I got bored enough. I toured campus at UT. Back then it was a beauul facility. I can't imagine it's not even gotten better.
They've done some renovations, but I think besides being the center of the state and it being a super fast pool, it's got an amazing amount of seating. So that really is good for spectators.
No doubt.
A lot of pools aren't built for spectators, It's built for swimming. But this pool, we're fortunate to have something like that. Hope we get to keep using it. So.
Well, and I told you this before, I'm very proud of Lubbock ISD and the commitment they made to swimming and diving a long time ago, and it just continues to build, because what you and Trey built on was begun by Pete Holohan. I say his name right?
Ron Holohan.
Pete. I don't know who
Pete Regis is the name of the pool.
I mixed my guys. And I've actually met Mr. Pete's still alive.
Pete is still alive.
I met him was getting a car fixed, and he introduced himself. He's a very outgoing.
Yes.
I believe he's 94, 95.
Last I heard, 98.
Okay, so but
I may be wrong. But he's still playing tennis and getting around. So
I'll be okay if I'm that old, as long as I'm in that condition. I'm good, because that man is, and plus he's just a great dude.
He's a great guy. Yeah,
years ago, but
got that land donated and got it all set up with the swimming program. So we couldn't have done it without either one of those guys.
No, and like I said, the commitment from LISD is impressive, and it's just built and built, and it's not going to slow down. We're coming up on a break, but I do want you to talk about what you said about being separate for district and regionals. That, to me, that's a good deal for the kids, because you're not just all, excuse the pun, thrown into the same pool.
That's right.
There's some separation where they get maybe a little bit different coaching, a little bit more different stuff. So coming up on the first break, we'll be back to talk more Lubbock High, but especially Lubbock ISD swimming, when we come back in the high school fan zone on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Lubbock High sports. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score. Diving headfirst into Lubbock High athletics, you're listening to the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the Westerner Fan Zone, technically, on 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta, but we're talking LISD swimming because Dakota oversees all 5 schools. And if I say 5, I think most folks know now that Talkington has been in part of the school district for a long time, but they are now a UIL program in, I think it's 4 or 5 sports, and swimming and diving are part of that. Real quick, when we were talking in the break there, who are your assistant coaches that have helped you keep this thing going?
We have, first of all, we got our head aquatic coordinator, the head of the program that stays there year round, kind of like the principal, and she's also the JV coach, and that's Missy Hayes, and that's Trey's younger sister.
Okay.
And she's been there since 2005, 6, and she helps out greatly with her experience. And then we have a varsity assistant of mine named Derek Wheeler. He swam through the program and had great success with that, and he's been there a while. And then we got some relatively new coaches. The diving staff, coaching staff, has both of them are alumni, and they had great success in Dovin College, and they've been there 3-4 years. Because after Penny left, it was a little bit of a kind of a one after the other, but we got it all figured out, and they work hard and get the divers ready. We got a great group coming up next year from 8th grade for the schools, and then we have Coach Pania. He is on his 2nd year, and he helps out with all the logistics and everything, and helps us get everything organized. And then Coach Matlock, she was a swimmer in Midland, and she's helping us out with doing varsity assistant and JV assistant. So it kind of is a team effort. We all help each other out. It's not like you can only do this part. Like we have a group effort, and it's been that way forever. So, and it was established by Ron and Trey and Penny and the coming from the athletic directors, not to overspeak here, is that they can trust us to keep everything pretty much wired tight, because we've been taught well and we've handled it well since far back as we can remember. So, and
that goes back to the commitment thing. If you grow, you need more coaches there to help those kids get better. And this applies to any sport, I think. And I was talking to another coach. Sports, really good sports program recruit themselves. The success you guys have had, have you seen that? Have you seen kids who show up at Lubbock High and maybe even before they get there, when they're, because there is a middle school swimming program, correct?
Right, correct. We have, every school has an option to swim in Lubbock ISD. We we have most of them a presence at the pool, but you know that like Hutch and has always been big in swimming, and McCool is big in swimming. I mean, that's just to speak it too. There are plenty more that have a presence there. Evans, they've grown recently, so we're pretty happy with how Evans is getting bigger and stronger and leading to hopefully a Monterey program. So,
because your sport is just like everything else. When you have those younger kids learning and wanting to represent you,
right,
that just builds things up, and they get to high school and they're ready. I know they're still 14 and 15-year-old kids. I've dealt with that for a long time covering high school sports. So they're ready maybe physically, and then you can coach them to be ready for everything else.
Right. You know, we do have the JV program, and that's for some of those kids who aren't quite ready for varsity yet. And that the goal of the JV program, as you know, every JV program is to get them ready for varsity.
Correct.
So, but the kids who go from 8th grade into varsity, they usually have a great amount of experience. So. And we're excited about that. We're somewhat limited here, but who are some of the swimmers this year that, if people come out and watch Friday, give me the times first, Friday and Saturday. Meet starts at 12 both days.
Okay.
So
is it divided by classes this week, or is it?
No, it's all together.
Okay.
They'll be anywhere from 3A or 4A schools to 6A schools. So It's all mixed together. But we need that kind of competition. The 6As always bring it. San Angelo's going to be there. El Paso, Coronado. Of course, our rivals like Wiley and of course, each other. You know, we're always swimming tough against each other. But that's a benefit for us swimming together.
Correct.
But there's plenty of teams that are bringing it. So right now, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great meet. I'm looking forward to getting my kids involved in that heavy matchup. So if you were to go to a swim meet, some of the kids you would watch would be like Gunnar Hansen.
Yep.
He is looking forward to finishing up his year. He's signing with Alabama, and that is a powerhouse school for swimming and diving. And then we have another senior who is looking forward to swimming in college, and that's Nick Williams. And our girls team is really, from Lubbock High, is really versatile. So you're going to see such names as Sarah Poe and Zoe Deaver and Stacy Digen, Abigail Anderson. Our team is so versatile. We can cover all 3 relays. We're pretty good at that. For Monterey, we have a really fast. One of our really fast girls that you would see stick out would be Lily Wade. Coronado boys, such as Alice Jackson, Coronado girl, his sister Emma Jackson. There's a big swimming family there. I've coached all their kids so far. So, but the divers, we have some really good divers. Reed from Lubbock High. We have, well, it's hard to remember, but there are plenty of good divers. I don't have them like all memorized in front of me,
right. But I'll make you a deal.
Yeah.
We'll get results and we'll put them on HubCityPreps.com and we'll have them out there.
I can send them to you.
That's going to wrap us up for this first part of the show tonight. We'll be back after the break in the Mustang Fan Zone on 100.7 Score. Thank you, Dakota, for coming in and talking swimming.
Thank you, Randy, for having me.